Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Heart of the Woods Let's Play. This is episode number 5, and last time we had a bit of a spook. We had a whole bit of a spook. Something crazy happened out there in the woods, and I believe in ghosts now. Well, maybe not ghosts, but definitely cryptids and some shit. And who knows what the fuck else. Where's my cursor? There we go. Fuck it, I'm just gonna click on it. There we go. There we go. So we went to bed after the horrible fucking crazy shit that happened, and we woke up and Tara's being kind of a bitch. Although to be fair, we were also kind of a bitch a little bit. But things are not great between us at the moment, and I've kind of fucked off a bit. So here we go. After what I've seen, the woods feel especially hostile now. I wonder what else could be lurking in the shadows or farther amongst the trees. Countless possibilities that I'd never considered are suddenly plausible. But for once I don't hesitate, I just walk, my feet automatically stepping over roots and other forest debris. Underfoot the snow is slushy and messy, my head feels the same. My heart hurts, everything hurts. My nose burns from crying, the cold only exacerbating the effect. Ooh, look how pretty that is. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? This music is really nice. I just feel lost. I reflect on the show, on the years I've spent with Tara, and wonder how it all came to this. The show had been her idea, of course, but I was the one who encouraged her to go through with it. She'd always had a flair for the dramatic, whether it was the school play, her old blog, or even the over-the-top fanfic she used to write, and I'd always been there to support her, whatever it was. I'd go over her lines with her and help her rehearse, or even edit her fics. When she first had the idea for Tara Normal and combining her two biggest interests, cryptids and herself, I was the only person who said she should go for it. I even came up with the name, which I'm still pretty proud of. At first, I thought it would just be another entry in a long list of harebrained ideas that Tara would start and quickly lose interest in. I gave it 2, maybe 3 episodes tops before she got bored. But the reception was good, and the views started coming in, and so did the ad revenue and sponsorships. What had started as a weekend hobby turned into a weekend responsibility, and then into a day job. My role went from holding a cheap camera and stitching together the footage to actually learning proper video editing and investing in decent equipment. It seemed only natural that I'd be the one to handle all the invites and fan mail and inquiries and more, the professional side of things. Put my life on hold for the show. Quit college halfway through my film studies degree, moved out of my cheap student housing. I gave up my barista job and the store manager promotion I'd been hoping for. I dropped everything in order to help Tara make the best show possible. Sure, it wasn't like I had it rough. Tara's always split the royalties with me and pays for the expenses herself. The two of us have done pretty well for ourselves, better than we had any right to expect, but at the end of the day, it was still always about Tara. Her name in the title. Her name on the contracts, her name in the fan mail, Tara, Tara, Tara. And when it's all over, when the final episode someday goes up and she moves on, she'll be able to take that name with her anywhere, that success, that popularity. And all I'll have is the memory. The more I dwell on it, the more unfair Tara's behavior seems. I can feel anger overcoming my sadness. How could she say I'm only pretending to care? I gave up years of my life for her, and dedicated them to making her look good. Without me, she'd never have been able to balance running the business side of the show while actually making it. Hell, she's not even close to being tech-savvy enough to do what I do. Part of me wants to spin around right now and go back to the cabin and demand an apology. But I know how that would go. She'd just get defensive. And even if she did say she's sorry, she wouldn't mean it. It wouldn't actually fix anything. We'd just be back to where we started and when we first got to Eisenfeld. Awkward and tense. There isn't really a good solution I can think of. But I have to do or say something. I can't just leave things as they are. Her offer for an early trip home lingers in my mind. I'm sure she'd make good on that promise. It sounds pretty tempting, too. In less than 3 days, I could be comfortable, warm, and back in my own bed. Never have to think about Morgan or Eisenfeld or forest spirits or weird churches or floating lights again. I could just move on with my life the same way I'd been planning to once I get home anyway. Could you, though? Because now that you've seen some shit, you know there's actually shit out there. And you don't know where the boundary is. So, can you really say you could just move on with your life? It's I think that, though. I know it's not really an option. I'd never be able to live with myself if I let it all go unresolved. Oh, yep, there's that thing. 2 piercing red eyes shine in my memory, and I know that there's no way I'd be able to forget about them. Oh, that is so well designed. Look at that. That's so gorgeous. Remembering the monster makes me stop and take stock of my surroundings. I've been walking at a pretty good rate, unhindered by the weather and fueled by my bad mood, and now I'm lost! There's a small clearing just up ahead, and it looks like it might be a good spot to take a short break. But do you know where you are and where you came from? Can you find your way back? It's not very big, I realize when I reach it. I could toss a stone from one side to the other. It doesn't feel as stifling as the rest of the forest, though. I clear my throat. It's the only noise I can hear. The sounds of the village don't travel this far. They barely reach the cabin for the most part. Overhead, the sky is a crystal clear blue for the first time that I can remember. It's still freezing, but it isn't cloudy. Not even an airplane or vapor trail disturb the tranquility. I rub my eyes and defog my glasses. I must look like a real mess out here. I do feel a little bit better, though. The fresh air alone has helped to clear my head. The snow underfoot is well trampled from my stomping around, and mud mixes with the slush to form a thin paste that sticks to my boots. If there was somewhere to sit down, this place would be perfect. I make do with leaning against a tree that's mostly dry. I need to remember how I got here. It would be nice to have a place of my own to retreat to when I need it, and away from the other two. Oh shit. Just as I'm enjoying my tranquility, there is a rustling sound overhead, and I look up just in time to get a face full of snow as it slides off a branch. Perfect timing. Fuck me. I cough and splutter, wiping away as much of it as I can, though a lot of it still falls into my clothes. I flap my jacket like wings, trying to knock it out. Right then, from the corner of my eye, I saw that. Don't think I didn't see that. Right then, from the corner of my eye, a quick motion catches my attention. It's gone too fast for me to notice more than a glimpse of fabric, and I turn around to see who it was. But it's nobody. There's nothing there, and no sign of anything having been there. Ooh, spooky ghost. Heart pounding, I walk over in the direction it came from, looking for footprints or something. There is nothing. I rub my eyes. Maybe it was the snow messing with my vision. Oh shit. I'm gonna die. Snap. The harsh, unmistakable sound of a branch breaking cracks behind me. I spin around, expecting to see Tara there, with a dumb smile on her face for having spooked me. But again, there's nothing. We're gonna just do a quick little save. We're gonna do a save. We're just gonna do a save. I pull my coat tighter around myself and press my back against a tree. Now, we haven't had any point in this game yet where there's been like an option, where we get presented with a choice. So at the moment, it seems like it's just a straightforward thing, but I do know there are going to be choices that come up eventually. I don't know when they're going to come up, so I do have to start saving a little bit more frequently, just in case anything crazy happens. Oh, I gotta remember the voice I did for you. Hello? Is someone there? My voice resounds through the clearing, but goes unanswered. Again, a flash of movement from the corner of my eye. This time I'm sure I see it. A glimpse of purple, darting behind a tree. I start towards it, hand reaching, but without a clear plan in mind. Just like a dog chasing cars, I don't know what I'll actually do if I catch it. Walk into the middle of the clearing, turning in a slow circle, hoping to spot whatever it was. Can you hear me? Hello? It already knows I'm here. There's no point in trying to hide. Oh, shit. Snow crunches off to my left, and I pivot just in time to see a girl disappear behind yet another tree. I found you, bitch. Hey, wait. May as well not be saying anything for all the effect it seems to have. I hurry to the tree where I saw her, but she's gone. Just running in circles, chasing after who knows what. My heart beats like a kick drum. A million possibilities race through my head, each more fantastic than the last. Maybe she's from the village. Maybe I imagined her. Maybe she's another forest spirit. Maybe she's the same forest spirit we saw before in a different form. Any of them could be true. I've seen now that nothing is impossible. I look all around, searching for a clue and finding none. This is a bad idea, I know. Every single fairy tale I've ever read warns that this is a bad idea. Chasing after mysterious girls in the woods never ends well. She could be luring me to her secret lair, or could even be a disguise for some kind of terrible monster. Maybe it's the forest spirit come to exact revenge for trespassing in its territory. I should turn and run and race back to the cabin, but I'm fucking horny. If I told Tara and Morgan, I'm sure this is the kind of thing that would override Tara's annoyance, at least for now. Could be our chance to patch things up, pursuing some new mystery. Or... well, maybe we're gonna get a choice, whether to go back or to stay. So I'm gonna save. Just in case. Or... I could not tell Tara, and I could solve the mystery myself. Whatever it is. For the first time, something happened to me that doesn't involve Tara. I could keep it that way. My hand is trembling, but I reach out in the direction I last saw the girl, more as a sign of openness than anything else. Are you still there? Silence. If you can hear me, can you let me know? No response. My fingers close over empty air. This is stupid. I feel like an idiot talking to no one. If she wanted to be caught, she would have let me, I'm sure. But then if she didn't, what was the point of even showing herself? I'll come back tomorrow, okay? If you'll be here again. Feels desperate. It is desperate. But I can't let this chance go, not when this could be all I have. A light breeze blows through as if to answer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I stand there, hoping for another sign. Oh, I saw that. As I give up and turn back toward the path home, I see it. For just a split second, a bright pink light, crystal clear, in the color of a sunset, flashes just once. It's the same as the one we chased through the forest several days ago. My breath catches in my throat, my muscles tighten, poised to follow, but my common sense overrides. As much as I want to, I can't just go running off into the forest on my own. I'd probably never find my way back. I swallow. If it can understand me, like it seems to, then I'll see it tomorrow, once I've had more time to prepare. I face the direction the light came from, even though it's gone now. I'll be back tomorrow. I promise. Oh boy. Hey Morgan, don't you be knocking on my fucking window at night. None of that shit. Morgan and Tara never noticed me come home. They might not have even noticed that I left. I don't make any efforts to talk with them. I'm still too angry with Tara. Instead, I spend the rest of my day in my room, watching films or reading. All of the research that I was so eagerly working on is put aside, stuffed into a folder that's out of sight on my hard drive. I have my own project now, my own lead to explore. The thought of that light and the mysterious girl in the woods stays on my mind through it all. Even late into the night, I can hear Morgan's still over, in Tara's room with her. Oh, giggity giggity. At some point, the sounds go from conversation to something else. I turn up the volume on my computer. They can do whatever they want. It's well past midnight when my eyes finally get heavy enough to sleep. I'm gonna be guessing Morgan ain't gonna be knocking on my window. Think she's doing something or someone else. Next day, I head straight to the clearing without telling anyone, nearly 24 hours to the minute since I left it. From the thick clouds overhead, I can tell it's going to be a short trip. Still, I have to go, at least to see. My heart thumps with anticipation, and more than a little nervousness. It's an odd mix. I force myself... That seems like a very, very common mix. I don't think that's very odd at all. I force myself to keep a calm demeanor and not get too worked up. It's difficult. I'm hopeful, but I don't know what for. I don't have a camera. Or even my cell phone. Oh, that's a bad... Well, there's no reception anyway. I was gonna say, that's a real bad idea. There's no way I could prove anything that happens, and it's not like there's anyone who could vouch for me. Say that I saw what I saw. For now, it's important that I keep it that way. This encounter, whatever it may be, will be mine and mine alone. I bet it will. Arriving at the clearing, I brace myself for what I might find. Nothing's changed. Oh, shit. Spooky ghost. I'm met with silence. There's the faint sound of trees rustling in the wind and nothing more. Hello? Are you out there? I give it a moment, waiting and hoping for a response that never comes. Maybe it really was my eyes playing tricks on me. The lights could have been a reflection of the sun, and the girl could have been... No, there isn't a doubt left in my mind that that girl was there. There's no way I didn't see someone. Frustrated, I kick at some of the mush on the ground. It splashes up and splatters my legs. Are you there? I'm waiting. Please. feel like a fool. I'm pleading with someone that may or may not exist to manifest. If someone had told me a week ago that I'd be here doing this today, I'd have laughed at them. Everything about this situation is unlike me. My irritation builds up, with myself, with Tara, the stupid ghost light, with everything. Whatever was there is gone now, and really, what kind of an idiot convinces herself to come back for an imaginary date with a weird breeze? I clench my fist, looking without seeing. Slowly I turn circles, hoping for something, anything. I traipse back and forth at an increasingly desperate pace, not really sure what kind of clue I'm searching for, but just knowing that I can't sit still. If I sit still, then I'm giving up, and if I give up, then I really don't have anything left for me out here. I'm gonna save again just in case. We're gonna keep doing this whole save thing. Just in case. For the second day in a row, I feel a sting of tears in my eyes, and I pinch my eyes shut to stop them. Not here. Not today. I hold my hand there, and suck in a deep breath. The cold air stings my throat. I steady my breathing, fighting back the urge to cry. After a moment, once the urge has passed, I lower my hand and open my eyes. Oh, there she is! Oh, look at her! And she's there. So silently and so suddenly that it's like she was never not there. The mysterious girl stands before me, barefoot in the snow, but seemingly she regards me with a curious look, her eyes wide, like I'm the one who's out of place. Now that she's here, right in front of me, I realize that I don't know what to say. Hello? Is all I could muster. My voice comes out weaker than I expected. Her eyes go wide at my word. Her lips move, but no sound comes out. She mouths something else again, still without a voice. I can't hear you. A frown. She turns away. Have I disappointed her? Is she gonna disappear again? Please don't go. I don't know why I want her to stay. Something is clearly different, unnatural. This isn't a normal girl. Yeah, well, she appeared out of fucking nowhere. But that's exciting in and of itself. The girl turns back around to face me again. She looks just as confused as I feel. There's a nervous sort of energy to her. Beneath the gown she's wearing, far too thin for the weather, the girl's legs are tense and ready to bolt. I take a step towards her, holding out my hand the same way I'd approach a kitten or a lost puppy. Oh, that's cute. My name's Madison. Can you understand me? She still looks a bit nervous, but nods. So we speak the same language, that's good. Is she from Eisenfeld? I can't imagine she's from anywhere else. There's nothing else around. You were talking, right? Just a bit ago, but I couldn't hear you. Another nod. That means that for whatever reason her words can't reach me. Maybe she's naturally mute, or maybe her voice was magically stolen. Or every idea that comes to my mind is more ridiculous than the last, but I consider them all equally. To my surprise, I'm able to remain calm and, by my standards, pretty level-headed. Seems like the girl is more afraid of me than vice versa. I drop my hand down, offering a handshake. She stares at it for a moment, maybe expecting it to turn into a snake for me to shoot magic bolts from my fingers. When neither of those happen, she gingerly, slowly reaches for my hand. Passes right through me. Her fingers glide through the palm of my hand like a breeze disappearing into the air. Oh. With a sad smile, she looks down, seemingly expecting this result. Horrific realization slowly dawns on me, with the same tinge of certainty that guided me out here. This girl isn't really here in the same way that I am. You're a ghost. A slow, sad nod. She looks apologetic about it, for inconveniencing me with her lack of corporeal form. I'm sorry. The words feel weak and inadequate, and nearly like a non sequitur. But really, what do you say to a ghost? She shakes her head vigorously, hair flying about, trying to rid herself of some bad thought. She gives me a big smile and stretches her arms wide, turning about to gesture to the trees around us. What is it? I don't understand. The girl bites her lip, wondering how to better convey her message. Then with a decisive nod, she points at me, then points at the ground between us. Pausing a moment, she holds that pose. Then she points at the trees, in particular the path I'd come from, and shakes her head. A flash of fear knifes its way under my skin. Is she threatening me? She definitely doesn't look like it. Something about where I came from? She nods, then repeats the pointing, first at me, then at the ground. Me. Right here. Another nod. You're asking if I'll stay here? She nods and claps, hopping up. Except she doesn't come down. She hovers there, as if suspended by invisible strings, then slowly lowers herself back to the ground. Not sure if it's what she was going for, but I smile. Are you showing off? She laughs and nods, glad to be understood. I can stay for a bit, sure. If you want me to, I mean. The girl quickly zooms the short distance between us, moving with what might be supernatural speed. She stands so close that her gown phases through me, uncomfortable in its lack of sensation. And she nods again, this time solemn and hopeful. I can't fight the feeling that she could easily be setting some kind of trap or leading me astray, but I still don't get that impression from her, so I agree. Okay, I'd be happy to. But I can't stay too long, or Tara will start to wonder where I am. Tara again. For the first time since we arrived, I was able to fully push her from my thoughts. I was so overwhelmed by meeting this girl that Tara didn't even register on my consciousness. And now there she is again. She's more haunting than the ghost. The ghost in question mouths Tara's name, one of the few words I can actually lip read. The person I came here with, she's, back in the village. The girl's eyes go wide, and she points in the direction of the forest, then makes a dragging motion back to where we are. This one's easy to understand. No, she's not coming here. She has no idea. For the first time, I'm glad the girl can't speak, because it means she can't ask me to elaborate. I don't want to think about Tara right now. Anyway, were you here yesterday too, watching me? A nod, wholly unapologetic. I thought so. I also thought I might be crazy, though. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised by either one. She looks surprised. I wonder if she knows about the other supernatural occurrences in the forest. Maybe they're connected somehow. The other day, my friend and I were out in the forest. Nod. And suddenly, there was this huge snowstorm out of nowhere, and we saw this giant thing. I stretched my hands to indicate just how enormous it was, but the enormity and terror of it are impossible to convey. I don't even know how to describe it. It was a monster of some kind, like a huge tree had come alive and was walking in the snow. Do you know what I'm talking about? Not only does the girl nod, but she laughs, finding something funny about my story. Oh, that's just my pet. He gets out sometimes. I'm not sure if I should be worried or not. So you've seen it. Is it, like, evil? A firm shake of her head. Well, that's good. It was honestly the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. After that, we taper off into silence. Well, I do. I don't have a reason to believe her, but so far she doesn't seem threatening at all. I have a hard enough time holding up my end of a conversation under normal circumstances. This just makes it even harder. The two of us just stand there looking at each other. Let me do a save. Just do a save. Still good. Everything fine. No choices yet. Now that she's not moving around so much, I'm able to get a better look at her. She's really fucking cute. She seems to be around my age, if not thousands of years older. If not a bit younger. Her hair is long and slightly unruly, reaching well down her back. She reminds me a bit of Rapunzel all alone in the forest. A cute bow midway down helps in place. Her wide eyes are curious, but slightly sad. Still, she smiles so easily that I wonder if I'm just imagining the sorrow. Oh, I bet you're not. As green as emeralds, her eyes kind of remind me of Morgan's. I was so taken aback by her sudden appearance and, well, ghostliness, that at first I didn't realize. She's beautiful. Her choice of attire makes a lot more sense now that I know she can't feel the cold. The gown she's wearing has a few dangling threads and scuff spots, which I assume haven't changed since she died. Yeah, yep. That's a detail I forgot about. She dead. I shudder, trying not to think of my own mortality. What was it like? Why is she here instead of whatever usually happens when you die? Does she know what she's missing? An afterlife, or lack thereof? I have a million questions about her life and about life itself. There's so much I want to ask, but it's impossible because she conveniently can't tell me. Plus, we've only known each other a few minutes. It feels like that would be rude to ask right away. A thick snowflake lands on my cheek, startling me. I've pretty much forgotten about the weather. Overhead, the clouds are getting worse, and the snow is starting to fall more heavily. As much as I want to spend more time with her, I really don't want to be caught out in a blizzard a second time. I need to go back now, but will you be here again? I'd like to see you again, if you'd like that, too. She nods emphatically, with a grin to match. I can't help but smile in return. It's nice to know that someone is looking forward to seeing me. Okay. I'll come back as soon as I can, I promise. Although I'm not sure when the weather will let me do that. On the next sunny day, I'll be here, okay? She nods. Okay, I'll see you soon then, I hope. The girl waves goodbye as I turn to leave, remaining in the center of the clearing. As I get my last look at her, I know that I'm not imagining the sadness in her eyes now. Glance behind several times on the walk back, each time expecting her to have disappeared once more. But she stays there, waving until the trees obscure her from sight. A splash of purple fabric against the brown and white of the forest. A little spark of light to look forward to. Well, there she is, guys. With almost every step I take, I cast a glance behind me. I keep expecting to hear the crunch of snow, or spot a flash of red hair as Tara follows me, but there's nothing. I'm alone. I hurry through the woods practically on autopilot. Less than a week ago, I'd have never set foot in the forest on my own, but now I already have the path to the clearing memorized. It gives me extra time to worry. What am I even doing? Everything about the situation is extremely not me. Heading off on my own into a dark forest without telling anyone to go meet up with a ghost. Yeah, but it's a really cute ghost. So, even thinking the word ghost still makes my heart lurch. I've seen her with my own eyes, and yet I still have trouble believing it. And I'm just trusting that she's not going to lead me to her lair or suck out my soul or something like that. I feel like Gretel, and I'm not even cautious enough to leave a breadcrumb trail. But still, I keep walking. There's something exciting in being on my own, and doing something without Tara. I can't remember the last time I had a secret from her, at least not a big one. Not telling her about the ghost girl feels a little like a rebellion. I feel like I deserve something exciting that's on my own. She and Morgan can go do whatever they're doing right now in the bed. I doubt Tara will even notice that I'm not around. And even if she does, it's something that she needs to get used to. I've tried to show her how to cut a video or frame a shot lots of times. It's her own fault she still doesn't get it. Just like it's her own fault that she's missing out now. As I approach the clearing, I slow down a little. My usual trepidation overtakes me once again as I contemplate just how reckless this is. There's absolutely no guarantee that the girl isn't dangerous, that I'll walk out of these woods alive. Normally I'd chastise Tara for following her gut instinct, which dictates probably 70% of her decisions. Yet that's all I have to go off right now. The feeling that I'm safe with the ghost girl, that she won't harm me. Well, just in case we're gonna do a little save. In case she harms me. No, I don't think she's gonna harm me, but I'm not sure how we're gonna bang, because she's, kind of, you know, not translucent, what's the word? She has no physical form. Across the threshold of trees and into the clearing, just like the other times, it's serenely quiet. Even my past footsteps are gone, erased by the wind or snowfall. I'm here. Somehow I feel like she already knows. Forest swallows my words, returning to frozen, pristine silence. Oh, there she is. Soundlessly, she steps out from behind a tree. A small smile sits on her face, though her eyes are slightly downcast. She waves, meeting my eyes for just a moment before glancing away. Hi there. My words hang in the still air. Were you waiting for me? We lock eyes again and she nods, quickly, earnestly. I hope it wasn't for too long. She shakes her head and then laughs. I'm not sure what the joke is, though. What? What's so funny? Once she catches her breath, she bites her lip as she ponders. After a moment, she shrugs, looking apologetic. I guess explaining a joke through gestures would be difficult. She sidles up next to me, and I fight the urge to step back. Though I've decided to trust her, my instincts still belie my nerves. But what she seems to be most interested in is the bag slung over my shoulder. She simulates opening the bag so that she can see into it. Nosy, huh? Immediately she backsteps, waving her hands in a frantic, apologetic motion. Sorry, I was just kidding. You can look. She regards me like a timid deer as I hold the bag open for her to see. Inside are a couple books that I picked up in the village this morning. I hold up the first one, small and square and baby blue. Got a really strange look from the person who runs the bookstore because of this one. It's a book of baby names. Her eyes go wide and she grasps at her belly, then points at me. It takes me a second to understand what she means, and for some reason I feel my face flush. No, I'm not pregnant. But I thought maybe you could use it to show me your name? If it's a name that would be... Before I can finish my sentence, she zoomed back over to me, all sense of personal space once again discarded. She clasps her hands, a fiery look in her eyes, and hops up and down. Frankly, it's adorable. Guess you're a fan. Okay, cool. She eyes the book hungrily. She must be really excited to share her name with me. It's a little exciting for me, too. It's nice to see someone so happy about being with me. I fight to keep an overzealous grin off my face. Okay, let's see. I look around. Aside from the trees and snow, there isn't much. I wonder if there's something about this place in particular that the girl likes. Maybe this is where she was sacrificed. I don't know. Is there somewhere nearby we could sit down? It feels a little weird to just keep standing. Finger on her chin, she ponders. Then she turns and points toward the woods, even further in. I can tell from the look in her eyes that she's uncertain. I swallow a lump in my throat. I've come this far, after all. Sure, that's fine. Lead the way. She does so, but never gets too far from my side. Every few steps she glances over at me, as if making sure I'm still there. It feels a little backwards to me, but in a nice way. I don't really feel compelled to break the silence either. Of course, part of that is because any conversation would be one-sided. But also, she looks content, like she's just happy to be here. I am too. Silence doesn't feel vast and overwhelming like it has with Tara. It feels warm. Before too long, I realize what our destination is. It is nearly the same path that Morgan took us down just a couple dusks ago. I recognize some of the more grotesquely warped trees. Is it the church? We're going to that church. Eyes wide, she nods, probably surprised that I know of it. One of the villagers showed it to us a few days ago, me and my friend. It feels weird to just call Tara my friend. Usually if I'm talking to someone about Tara, they've met her. The girl just nods yet again. As we reach the edge of the trees, and the church itself comes into sight, I look around for traces of the monster we saw days before. Not evil, apparently. There are none to be seen, though. No snapped or toppled trees. No footsteps as deep as I am tall. Much like the girl beside me, there's no trace of its existence. I look over to the door of the church, where she's patiently waiting for me. Once again, I fight back all my fears and hesitations, and head for the door, too. It's too late to turn back now. Well, here we are. We're gonna do a save. Just do a little save. Do ourselves a little save. There we go. Door is still slightly ajar from our visit days ago. A thin trail of snow powders the entryway, but otherwise the church is dry. It's unnaturally warm. I wonder if that has to do with the girl, too. From the way she walks, I can tell she's familiar with the place. She heads to the front, stopping just shy of the altar, where she turns around to face me. Being back here is a little unnerving, and I slowly approach her. Though she hasn't given me any reason to be suspicious, the image of those monstrous eyes is ingrained in my memory. But this time, there's no howling wind or earth-shaking footsteps, just the one girl waiting patiently. Oh, they're so cute. I give her a smile as I sit down on one of the pews near the front. It's hewn from stone, smooth and rigid. She takes a seat right beside me. Normally, being this close to strangers makes me uncomfortable, but with her I don't really mind. Part of it is, of course, the fact that I can't feel her at all. The other part is that it feels kind of pleasant to sit together like this. I hastily push that thought out of my head. She's a ghost. She is literally transparent and insubstantial. I rummage through the bag and grab the book of baby names. Okay, so first, she bounces up and down with anticipation as I tear off the plastic cling wrap and stuff it in the tote bag. Is the first letter early in the alphabet? She nods and holds up one finger. I, L. 2 shakes of her head. She touches her index fingers together and then uses her middle finger to cross between them. Oh, an A. Enthusiastic nodding. I flip to the first couple of pages in the book. Right to the middle of the A's. The first name I spot is Amber. Impatiently, she leans over me and motions to go further back towards the start. I turn the pages slowly, giving her time to scan. On the very first page, she holds out a hand to stop and points. She's practically hanging over my shoulder to show me. Abigail. Your name is Abigail. She gives me the biggest, most radiant grin I've ever seen as she nods. Her joy is infectious, and I can't help but smile too. Abigail. I repeat it, and she looks even more joyful. A beam of light breaks through the glass window, illuminating dust motes that make it look as if she's sparkling. We lock eyes, and I feel my breath catch in my throat. The look in her eyes, pure, unadulterated happiness, is something I've never seen before. They shine with tears, the good kind. The kind that bring out the colors of her eyes. The radiant kind. I didn't know I could make someone happy like this. I quickly look away, back to the now irrelevant book in my lap. Anyway, Abigail, I had a couple of questions, is that okay? Abigail nods. So, maybe this is rude to ask, but are you a ghost, or are you something else? Abigail closes her eyes and, with a sad smile, nods. I'm sorry. Not sure what the appropriate response to something like that is. Yeah, that's some deja vu there. Then, are you from Eisenfeld? Nod. Do you know a girl from there called Morgan? She shakes her head. That makes sense. I'm sure Morgan would have mentioned her before if so. So, have you, been a ghost for a long time then? Yeah, I bet she has. I cringe a little as I ask. It seems gauche, although I'm not entirely sure what proper etiquette is for this kind of conversation. In answer to my question, she nods again. Yeah, she's probably 100 or so years old. Do you know how long? A shrug. Pardon! Apologies if you can hear the thunder outside my window. It is currently thunderstorming. Oh, jeez. Yep, that's really loud rain against my window. Okay, wow. She holds up 2 fingers, then 2 fists. God damn, 200 years. 200? Another shrug and a nod. 200 years. I murmur it to myself in slight disbelief. It could be more. I doubt she's been keeping track of every day. The world out there, the world I come from, it may as well be another planet for her. I'm sorry. It's incomprehensible to me. I can't fathom that much time passing, unable to talk to anyone. How lonely that must be. She's closed her eyes yet again. Though I've been interpreting her silence as serene, I wonder if that's how she feels. These yes or no questions are practically the extent of what I can ask her. If there's such a gulf between who she is and what I know of her. Oh, there's still such a gulf between who she is and what I know of her. Centuries worth of solitude. In all that time, have you ever spent time like this with someone else? Holy shit, that lightning was crazy. Oh boy. Without opening her eyes, or looking at me, she shakes her head again. Well, we're almost at the end of the episode anyway, so that's fine. I'm the only one? Nod. I fall silent too, my head's still reeling. There are so many things that I want to ask and want to know. How did she die? Why did her spirit stick around? Does she know about the thing we saw in the snow? Why am I the first person she's shown herself to? 'Cause she wants to bang you, Maddie. But there's no way she could answer. And even if she could, I wonder if she'd want to. Is it impolite to remind a ghost that they're dead? Probably a little bit. It's morbidly funny to me that these are questions I have to ask myself. Tara would love this. Tara would... Push that thought out of my head, too. Tara's not here right now. It's just me and Abigail. Would you like me to read that other book? Her grin returns, the moment of melancholy dispelled. Seems I made the right call in changing the subject. I show her the cover before I crack it open, enjoying that new book smell that she probably can't smell. This is a book I read a lot when I was younger. It's about a girl who wants to be a hero, so she goes on a quest with her best friend to prove herself. It's a little childish, I guess, but maybe you'd like it. Abigail clasps her hands and nods. I have a feeling I could read the dictionary to her and she'd be satisfied, but I don't mention that. Okay. I smooth a crease and open the first page. Once upon a time. It's a story that I could probably recite by heart. My mom used to read it to me when I was a little girl, and it was one of the books that I used to learn to read. I was both surprised and excited to see that there was a copy in Eisenfeld's bookstore. I settle into an easy cadence of reading. Though I'm not used to reading out loud, it starts to feel pretty natural after only a couple pages. Like my mom used to do, I give all the characters different voices. Hey! I don't have quite the range that Mom does, but Abigail seems to enjoy it all the same. She smiles and laughs in all the right places. Makes my heart warm to see how much she's enjoying it. Her eyes are closed yet again, but she looks quite content. Oh, that's so cute! As we finish chapter 2, Abigail scoots a little bit closer and rests her head near my shoulder. I pause mid-sentence, surprised, but resume just a second later. Though I can't feel her there, the sentiment is clear. I keep reading. Sometimes when I glance down, I can see that her eyes are open, reading along. Her lips mouth the same words I am. One time she catches me looking and blushes, but I just smile and continue going. After we finish chapter 4, I finally pause. My mouth is dry and my jaw is starting to hurt a little bit. Must have been reading aloud for close to an hour. Oh gee, I wonder what that's like. Even though I stop, Abigail doesn't sit up or open her eyes. Her hand rests on my arm, and I set the book aside. Do ghosts need to sleep? That's another question I can ask, but maybe at a different time. Right now, I'm happy to let her pretend. Quietly, I hum a song. Something from the radio. A title I can't remember, but that's always stuck in my head. I'm extremely off-key, I'm sure, but I don't care. It just feels right. When I stop, she finally opens... This music is fucking beautiful, by the way. When I stop, she finally opens her eyes and sits back up. As we gaze at each other, she mouths 2 words that I don't have to be good at reading lips to decipher. Thank you. Oh my god, this is so pure. This is so fucking pure. No problem, I hope you like the story. First she claps, then she places one hand over her heart. I laugh, flattered, but also a little embarrassed. I think that's all I can do today, but we should read more sometime. If you want to, I mean. I already know the answer, but she gives me an emphatic nod all the same. Okay. It's a promise. She touches her heart again and I smile. I should probably head back to the cabin soon. People will start to get suspicious if I'm gone for too long. Abigail cocks her head like an owl, curious. I haven't told my friends about you yet. It's sort of like our secret, I guess. And I want to keep it that way for a little while longer. She smiles in agreement. Alright, guys. Well, I think this is a pretty good spot to go ahead and end off the episode here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. And make sure you're subscribed for more Heart of the Woods. Guys, we've met Abigail, and things are starting to get a little cozy between Abigail and Maddie. And also between Tara and Morgan, which is pretty funny. So, all that being said, it seems like the quote-unquote horror aspect of it is probably going to start to be phased out. I don't think we're really going to have too much horror, especially if that monster thing isn't actually an evil monster thing. Then we're probably going to get some kind of adequate explanation, and it seems like this is definitely going to go more hardcore in the heartwarming, love story, sappy kind of direction, which is, you know, it's going there. It's definitely going there. This definitely has some potential to be either really, really sweet and heartwarming or absolutely soul-crushing and sad. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it has some potential there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't remember if I said the thing yet, but if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe for more Heart of the Woods. I think I did say all that. Anyway, next time we're going to continue on with the story and come back from the woods into the cabin, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure Tara and Morgan are still going to be players in this story at some point, so I'm sure we're going to have some kind of conversation with them eventually. So I hope you're excited for that. I know I am. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.